we are live, and it's 9:54. Unfortunately, I started a little bit later than planned, but that's life, yeah. I mean, yesterday we finished playing the Fisher qualifier events. One of these days, maybe I'll do a quick recap. But okay. Should be interesting. So this chat is back. We have notes. Chess.com Global Championship is still happening. By the way, who is playing? Results. Right. These are the results of the other brackets, I believe, yeah. So Naka is gonna play Veniers. That's gonna be a very interesting match. Sarana made it through Mediarov, which is pretty much an upset, but he's gonna meet another young and fast player, very accurate, which is Duda. And then, alright, that's the first bracket, and from the second bracket we have Wesley versus Jeffrey, and Fabiano's gonna play Andraken. And we have more brackets. Nepo versus Regesi versus Rajabov. Giri versus Pankratov. I think Giri will finally win. Ranyan versus Sevian. Very interesting match. I think Sevian chances are actually higher. I think Liren versus Sarin. Dink chances are slightly better, in my opinion. So, but they will be playing these guys, yeah, for the right to qualify, and potentially we're gonna see Naka versus Fabiano match, or Wesley, yeah, because Wesley, I think Wesley will win, and he will play Fabi probably. It'll be a very interesting match. Although Andraken is not gonna be walkover for Fabiano. Yeah, this match is gonna be pretty interesting. All right, so that was brackets for the Global Championship. Hey, Mr. Shorez, how are you? I lost the first match to Yasipenko, which means that Yasipenko went on to play Naka in the finals, and Naka won the finals, but there was also a match for the third place, because Naka beat Sevian. So I played Sevian for the third place, because supposedly there's some prize money, but I don't know the details. And I played Sevian, and there was some incredible fighting, but I managed to beat Sevian, and I ended up in the third place after Naka and Yasipenko. Yeah, Naka is a monster. I mean, right now he is like in a very good form. He qualified for the Fisher Random, and he was also playing really well in the Global Championship. And I think online events are a specialty for Naka. Yeah. Nope. Only the first place qualified, and Naka qualified. They have another tournament with another bracket, but I'm not following that one. Yeah, because they have two places from LCS qualifiers. So one was the our tournament, and there was another tournament as well. Do you know the Jarek opening, Mr. Jeff Heddy? No, I have no idea what Jarek opening is. It's okay, Mr. Shodas. I was kind of not really keen on traveling or flying anywhere. Now I'm more comfortable with traveling by train and playing some local events, Bundesligas, preferably not long events. I mean, challenges for the World Chess Championship are, in the past, okay. I don't have such high ambitions. It'll be just nice to, you know, to play and be able to prove that I'm still able to play some interesting chess. Mr. Payman, thank you for the Prime subscription. Party on. Did you see the bombshell statement that Magnus tweeted out earlier? Bombshell statements? Really? What was the bombshell statement that he tweeted out? Really? What was it? Let's see. Ah, okay. There we go. Alright, let me move this a little bit. Alright, so let's see this. Dear Chess World, the 22 Simul Cup, I made the unprecedented professional decision to withdraw from the tournament after my round 3 game against Hans Niemann a week later during the Champions Chess Tour. I resigned against Hans Niemann after playing only one move. I know that my actions have frustrated many in the chess community. I am frustrated. I want to play chess. I want to continue to play chess on the highest level and the best events. I believe that cheating in chess is a big deal and an existential threat to the game. I also believe that chess organizers, all those who care about the sanctity of the game we love, should seriously consider increasing security measures and methods of cheat detection for over-the-board chess. Alright. Nothing about online chess, right? So they only want to increase security measures and methods of cheat detection over the board chess. Okay. Because, just an aside, Niemann admitted to cheating only in online chess, and he said he never cheated OTB chess. Okay. When Niemann was invited last minute to the Simul Cup, I strongly considered withdrawing. Prior to the event, I ultimately chose to play. I believe that Niemann has cheated more and more recently than he has publicly admitted. His over-the-board progress has been unusual, and throughout our game, the Simul Cup, I had the impression that he was intense, even fully concentrating on the game in critical positions while outplaying in black and white. I think only a handful of players can do. This game contributed to changing my perspective. We must do something about cheating, and for my part going forward, I don't want to play against people that have cheated repeatedly in the past because I do not know what they are capable of doing in the future. There is more than I would like to say. Unfortunately, at this time, I'm limited in what I can say without explicit permission from Niemann to speak openly. Why does he need explicit permission from Niemann? So that Niemann doesn't sue him. Okay, for defamation. Okay. So far, I have only been able to speak with my actions, and those actions have stated clearly that I'm not willing to play chess with Niemann. I hope that the truth on this matter comes out, whatever it may be. Sincerely, Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion. Yes, this one is not really bombshell. Yeah, this is not a bombshell. This is just a statement which just basically repeats whatever he was, whatever people were saying before, without giving any concrete evidence. It's just a statement, guys. It's a statement that is very. That was proofread by the attorney, and there is this important qualifiers, right? It says I believe. There's a very strong qualifier. It's just legalese. That Niemann has cheated more and more recently because when you say you believe, it's your opinion, right? And opinion can be wrong, can be bad, but they're not. Opinions are not statements of fact, right? Again, I believe, and there is more. So I don't say that this is something. It's like statement from FIDE, right? They're saying we invite the platforms to work with us. But again, it's just an invitation, right? And the statement is in a similar vein. Right, I'm not really buying it. I don't think that's enough. I mean, if he says that if he believes that Neiman is cheating, then there has to be some evidence at least, right? I mean, like, anybody can say, I believe this guy is cheating. I believe this guy is cheating based on what, right? Obviously, belief is always based on something. So I don't know what this is, but I don't. I think it's just the same. All right. Thank you, Mr. Shodas, for subscribing. Thank you, Mr. Polpil, for subscribing. No news here. Thank you, Flamewise, for your cheer support. Hi, Darth Vader, what's up? Mr. Prister, sounds like lawyers involved, as he expressly said he would need permission to say more. Exactly. Mr. Piersternum, he doesn't do anything without consulting the lawyers, which is why he never replied to my question to him regarding the FFL brand, because, you know, he is not allowed, right? And again, it was never resolved, but I just gave up on it because I had no money or time to hire the lawyers, you know, and go for this small thing, because in the end, it's not really a big thing. I mean, for them, you know, a couple $1,000 they made, you know, selling these mugs, t-shirts, it's nothing. But for me, of course, it's a huge money. But, you know, compared to the attorneys, which basically charge like €100 an hour, you know, it's just, for me, it's not worth it, because, you know, I would lose more money going to the court. Don't you have prior art? Still have to go to court? Yeah, exactly. The biggest winners are the attorneys. It's like, remember, the famous joke is why the attorneys all love class action suits, because they get the huge pie and they get the cut at a certain percentage, but the actual people, the plaintiffs who participate in this class action suit, they have to share the rest of the pie, you know, share it, which goes to like very minimum. Yeah, well, okay, I really don't want to get involved in this. Anyway, let's get back to our Simul. Again, the statement is just a clever way of saying nothing in particular. And let's go back to the Simul, gentlemen. Let's go back to the Simul and do what we do best. Yeah, play chess. All right, Mr. Darth Vader. All right, Mr. Darth Vader, let's see. Have you looked at this line recently? I looked at this line when I played my first classical game in Bill against Liam, right? Remember, you guys remember that game? Yeah, I managed to win this game, but it was a close affair. Yeah. I grabbed the pawn and held on to that pawn for my life, yeah. It seems that Mr. Vader is prepared for everything. Wow. Yeah, d5 like is a threat which I cannot really allow to happen, so let's develop. Are there more challenges? Gentlemen, start the challenges. Yes, I don't think he cheated OTB games, but again, nobody knows again except Hans, like, right? So I understand. I like the fact that he admitted that he changed his perspective on the cheating. You guys know my position about the cheating, right? I've been complaining about what's happening on every online platform, starting from Lichess, then going to chess.com, right? You always heard me complaining about cheating and suspecting. And I'm very curious to see the lists of people that chess.com has. and compare it to the number of people that I complained against, I would say that a lot of percentage of people I complained about, they would be in that list. Or were at least, warned, or, I'm very curious. And now we have the position from the world champion that basically validates everything I was fighting for, the past couple of years. He suddenly starts to take this cheating very seriously, except that, they make the separation of the board cheating and online cheating, because online cheating for some reason is a different standard. It's still cheating, but okay. Bishop to g5, huh? Interesting. Bishop to g5. Yeah, because if I trade, the knight gets to e4, c5, We probably don't want that to happen. So one of the reasons a6, a4 is played is so that the bishop can get some squares, like a square in b4, Right. So again, the separation of cheating online and OTB, so far what the statement calls is for the OTB games, right? It's not really new. There have been FIDE commissions working on this, there have been precedents, So I don't see how that is actually so relevant. c5, bishop e7, bishop c5. We do need to protect our pawn. Then you have this move. You know what? I still like a5. I get to protect my bishop, And in case that if he trades the bishop, I can take with an a pawn, and his pawn on a4 will be hanging. So that's one of the things you look at for in the position, the structural nuances, right? The pawns on c6 and a6 are sort of vulnerable. These pawns are less so. Yeah, but he has some direct targets which he can attack. Knight c6, bishop here. So we're just gonna trade everything. And as the Grandmaster says, shake hands and go home, Hi Giga Chat, Giga Gajt. Thank you for support and subscription. 30 months, man, that's a long time. It's a fairly long time. Yeah. Mr. Darth Vader, knight e5, knight c6 is just admitting to a draw, Yeah, I thought they're gonna play for an advantage, like maybe rook f d1, taking the d7 square away from my bishop, so I don't have bishop d7 take a4 idea. And then, but then I have bishop e6, bishop b3, okay. But even then, I think you're still a little bit better, Because now I don't think you're better. I think it's just that equal, Rook c5, So like rook c8 first. Plus maybe I can get a tempo to attack the bishop so I can make a luft. Tempo free. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Giga. Yeah, that was good. Unfortunately, I kept forgetting that in the Armageddon game, we don't get Increments. Yeah. I mean, I had the completely lost position, to be honest, but in the end, you know, I felt like, you know, I came close to building sort of a fortress. Yes, yes, I agree to draw, Mr. Accept. Mr. Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. A big fan of the Star Wars universe. Yes, thank you. Just to show you guys that it's pretty much equal. Bishop d5, castles, bishop g5, and bishop takes g5 is probably better, but I just hate to go willingly for such pawn structures where the knight goes to c5 and then he gets knight and rook, hitting my weaknesses. Yeah, rook c1 or rook d1, yeah, probably better, but still close. a5 is inaccurate, but it's still within the realm of equal position, yeah. It's still point 13, so it's playable. Rook a6, c5, correct, that's exactly what I was thinking. Bishop e6. It is still a torture, to be honest. Alright, thank you for the game. Yes. Yes, yes, but I should not have lost the fourth game, right? I won the third game with black, and then I had to make only a draw with whites, and then I went into this full mode aggressive chess. I blundered the pawn, which supposedly was actually a good sack, but I didn't follow it up with. Yeah, I played castle instead of knight e5. And if I play knight e5, he doesn't play knight c6 because of bishop e5, yeah. And then I have very strong bind on the dark squares and full compensation. And the computer says black is worse, so I had to play knight e6, knight e5. And then my knight on e5 is well and alive, and this compensation. So yeah, the fourth game I played like an idiot. And the fifth game, yeah, they played roulette, and Yesipenko won the roulette, and he got the white. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Again, the opening was actually okay, but for some reason I didn't go for e5. I went for the structure, which was just worse. But not much time. Yeah, he had 4 minutes. I have 5 minutes. No increments. It's just I keep forgetting no increment. Anyway, yeah, game 3 was nice. Yeah, it was black. Yeah, he made this g3, d5, and after that he was just worse. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing about the official random chess, is that black has a very good chance of actually taking over the initiative from the second, third move, which is probably impossible in classical chess. So that's why, which is another huge factor in favor of this game, because traditionally, you know, if you're playing black, you have to go and like equalize. It's gonna take you at least like 15-20 moves to do that. In official random, you can start playing for a win actually from the second, third move. That to me is amazing. If you look, guys, at how many games in official chess, in how many games black got an advantage from the second, third move. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this in classical chess. So, well, the big problem is that not even top grandmasters can evaluate without engine correctly what's going on in the opening. Okay, you need the engines. So that's one of the reasons why it didn't quite catch on in popularity yet, because it's very hard to try to explain to the audience what's going on the board, because, you know, even the top players, they don't really grasp the whole situation. They cannot really correctly evaluate everything. Yeah. And for the people who are not even top players, for them it's way harder. Yeah, way harder. And to understand, to explain this is going to be a nightmare. Because thankfully now we have so many commentators that You know, even some kids who are at least 2000, they can commentate on the classical game chess, as long as they learn some openings, you know, and they know some basic concepts. So anybody can commentate classical game. But Fischer chess, to commentate it is very hard, because a grandmaster thinks it's one thing, and then he turns on the engine, and the engine says completely opposite, and the grandmaster looks pretty bad. Yeah. Yes, exactly. You look at the engine and you still have no understanding why is it +7, because there is obscure tactical line, which is a sideline of the sideline of the sideline, which explains why the main line is playable, because there is a sideline of the sideline, right? And only the engines can see that. But for the human, it's not possible. All right, so I guess people don't want to play in the Simul today. They just want to do this Twitter thing, yeah? Any other comments? Naka says a very, very strong statement by Magnus. Exactly. Chris Bird is actually very outspoken, among the very outspoken people who are on the hardworking arbiter team. You know, having played in this events before, and having played in a lot of US championships where Chris was actually, you know, participating, and knowing the, you know, security that the St. Louis Chess Club, you know, provides, it's one of the very few tournaments where you have to go through the padding, metal detecting, yeah. So again, like Magnus is putting the onus on the organizers, yeah, for creating this cheat-proof sort of conditions. And I actually like the statement by Mr. Bird, because they're already doing something. Like, what else do you want them to do? Yeah, he is correct. Human decency and local laws, right? Again, we heard about everything about those beads, right? So what is that going to be? Human cavity search? Yeah, you need some authority for that. Yeah, like if you TSA, if you immigration border agent, only people like that can do that with such authority. This is, imagine if they start doing it in chess, then all the other sports will follow. So imagine, like, in the middle of your soccer match, suddenly the opposing team says, "Hey, this guy is like cheating, yeah? And why don't you search him?" I don't know. Maybe he has some sort of artificial limb somewhere hidden in his body, which helps him, like, you know, I don't know, make a stronger kick or something, yeah? So what are we gonna do? Are they gonna really start pulling soccer players right from that moment, like, you know, when you feel there should be a goal in there? Like in boxing, yeah? Like, imagine, you know, all those sports people, they're gonna start, you know, being searched in the middle of the boxing match. Imagine that, right? Like, you know, you're losing the match, and so what do? You say, "Hey, your opponent is cheating," and you call the arbiter and you demand, you know, the opponent be searched, you know, for all the irregularities everywhere, yeah? Imagine that. That'll be just such a huge thing. You know, the modern sports, yeah, they'll never be the same. So again, it's not just that the rules have to be stringent about, you know, security. I mean, it's not just the security should be stringent, but it should be also, the rules should be made, right? Yes, you need to subscribe, Mr. Kasparov. All right, do we have challenges? Because we can continue the Simul, or we can talk about this Twitter column. I would say that there has to be much stricter rules regarding with people who are accused of cheating and who are, you know, banned. And again, we're living in the day and age where online chess and OTB chess are merging together. We have World Chess Championship tournaments, we have FIDE sanctioned tournaments, So I don't agree with Magnus' separation of OTB chess and online chess. I think it should be same, which is why all the online platforms, they should be setting up the same standard, which should be mandated by FIDE. But FIDE is reluctant to press the big sponsors, the big money groups, to come to a unified standard. And you need the standard, because otherwise, you have some people banned on one platform, you have other people banned on another platform, and all the platforms, they're hiding their cheat detection systems because it's private. Yeah, I mean, it's private, but yet they run the official World Chess Championship events. I mean, that doesn't just, that doesn't mix together. Yeah. Unless, if you're running official World FIDE events, then you should be, running under FIDE laws, and then FIDE laws prevail, right, over the private organization rules just for that event only. Again, it would be just so much simpler if they come to the unified standard, and then they make this unified code of conduct and system of, procedure how to go with this, right? The rights of the accused, the rights of the accuser, and the impartial, sort of court system, right? And again, so the big question is, CAS and Lausanne will become part to this, yeah, because usually for the sports arbitration, when there were disputes, the court, the sports arbitration court in Lausanne was usually the highest instance, right? Again, so is it FIDE, is it CAS, is it, what's gonna be, right? But once you have that, then you can do this punishment thing, right? Then you can, if you have full proof of the cheating, if you have everything, if you completely proved, all the evidence is decisive and the guilty sort of admitted his guilt, right? Again, there should be a very harsh punishment for this, right? Because that is the only way to stop, this, madness, I think. Okay. You just subscribed. You don't even want to play. Anyone see Andromeda? No, I haven't seen Andromeda lately. But last time I remember he was going on a date with some girl or something. Do you think St. Louis should not allow Hans to play in the US Championship until the matter is resolved? Yes, I just saw the published list of players, but they cannot stop him because I think he won the right as US junior player, champ or something, so they can't stop him. Again, the question is, he claimed he never cheated OTB. Yeah, Magnus says he disagrees with that. I mean, at least that's what he says. Yeah. No, he didn't say he disagrees with it. He doesn't believe that. Okay, there is a difference. Okay, so I'll take it back. He doesn't believe that, right? Again, it's a complicated situation. So obviously the tournament is gonna go in. They can ask Hans not to play, but they cannot revoke the invitation based on inconclusive evidence, right? They should be submitted as evidence of wrongdoing. And who's gonna do that? I mean, Chess.com is not organizing the US Chess Championship, it's the US Chess Championship organizing the event, and the US Chess Federation. I mean, US Chess Federation should also make a statement, right? Because this is a premier event in the United States. It's official United States Chess Federation. And one of its players has been basically accused of, inappropriate things in over-the-board play. So United States Chess Federation should also make a statement, because the statement that FIDE made is just nothing. Yeah, it's just like, we invite all the players to discuss this. Yeah, Magnus statement, I invite the organizers to provide this unworkable conditions to make cheat-proof everything. Nobody is just basically doing anything. he didn't mention OTB. Excuse me. Let's go back. I also believe that the chess organizers and all those who care about the sanctity of the game we love should seriously consider increasing security measures and methods of cheat detection for over-the-board chess. Okay? This distinction is glaring. All right? Over-the-board chess or online chess. So they want to leave online chess the way it is, okay? Because nobody wants to cross chess.com. Because chess.com is the boss in online chess. And they have incredibly sophisticated algorithm which FIDE cannot dream of. And so far they're the leading standard, except that the standard has been seen only by the very few people. And we can all only, like believe what the standard is, and it works, right? So again, but it's something that we have to take their word for, right? Which is kind of amazing to me, because in this modern materialistic world, right, we have to take the word, we have to take this faith, yeah, which is really interesting, yeah. They're asking us to actually just blindly believe that this godlike materialistic engine entity, pardon, what is it called? Algorithm, yeah? It works, artificial algorithm works to detect human cheating. So this is an incredible concept, guys. To me, it's incredible. These are three things which are completely opposite of each other, yeah? This is a spiritual element works with this artificial element which works with the human element. Yeah, so I don't know about you, but to me this is incredibly ironic. Daniel said he didn't receive the invitation, but 3 players rated below him got. I don't know how that works. I never gotten an email with invitation for this year either. But I believe because, finally there is some sort of limit of years when I'm not resident of the US, when they can stop inviting me or something. I'm not sure how that works. Or I'm like way below the US ratings now, yeah. So, but honestly, I wouldn't play anyway, so I'm glad that they skipped me. Drama is viewership. It depends. I don't really want like viewership based on the drama alone. I'm very happy with the guys we have in our channel. We have a core of people who really support me, and we have our own club. Yeah, we do some little events here and there, and that's it. Yeah. Magnus goes for chess community to be more transparent with accused cheaters. I kind of like the way Magnus called on Niemann. He's asking Niemann's permission to be able to talk more. So that is a very interesting, actually, very interesting turn of the events, because there are two sides of it, right? There is this human side which says that, hey, I want to explain stuff, but I don't want to be legally liable, right, in case you don't like this stuff. Because, obviously if he says more stuff, it'll be more damaging to Hans, right? So who in his right mind would decline to do that? On the other hand, if they can skip all the legal BS and they can try to come to understanding like humans, can do, right? Bridge the differences and sort of build the understanding. That's what the humans are really good at, and which is something that made human race progress so far. And I think that Hans, again, if he asks, the onus is actually on Hans this time, right? It's like Magnus putting his limitation on Hans, right? Yeah, it's kind of weird, to be honest, but again, very, very interesting. Yeah, for the good of the humanity in chess, Hans probably should just accept it and let Magnus say what he has to say without fear of legal repercussion, right? And then we get to know, then we'll get somewhere. There'll be progress made. And until, everybody is hiding behind attorneys, there's not going to be any progress made because everybody is afraid. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the I think this is kind of situation which led to the creation of the copyright fair use exception, right? So I guess what they should do is carve out some sort of an exception when something like this happens, and so that people can feel free, to sort of discuss stuff. And but of course they should be humane sort of limitations on what can be said, if it is constructive, right? If it makes progress for resolving a conflict. But if it just harms people, then obviously it's not going to be protected. Yeah. You will never get chess.com to be more transparent, unfortunately. You came for the sick London games. There are a lot of sick London games on YouTube's by many people. All right, Ms. Shodas, thank you for the challenge. Again, Mr. Smart Stat. Yeah, I've seen this recent video by this person who looked at the statistics and claimed that Hans played apparently some games with 100% accuracy and a lot of games with 90% accuracy, which has not been repeated by many others. But again, when we get into the realm of the statistics, that's where I sort of get very pessimistic about it and very suspicious, because again, I'm a big favorite of famous writer Mark Twain, right, who said that there are lies, and there are damn statistics. Okay, so again, for me, statistics is very inconclusive proof, right? General statistics is very inconclusive. It's like asking, it's like asking, what is the probability that out of 1,000 people, there is a certain percentage that these guys will commit the crime, right? Remember, there were sci-fi movies based on that. There is a probability that you can commit the crime, and future prevention crime societies, etc., etc., etc. So we let the statistics rule dictate, the verdicts. Then I think we are already lost as a human race. Yeah. Because to me, that will be moving like in a very wrong direction. But okay, I'm just a chess guy. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Obviously, math people will disagree with me. Well, it's like inching closer and closer to the Skynet and the Terminator world, where the engines and algorithm and AIs will be running everything, and they just saying, this guy is guilty, this guy is not guilty, that's it, etc., etc. Somebody asked you about Hans, his progress. He was on 2630. All right. The Norwegian Hans were good buddies online. He will be top GM. Yes, yes. But then I actually saw him play and win some of the games. There any chance that the Norwegian is just a bad loser? I don't know. Yes, you're considering playing World Rapid and Blitz this year. I don't know where it is. again, guys, that's what I've been saying. If there should be strict procedures and unified standards for online and OTB cheating, because with the way chess is run today, with a lot of events run today online and FIDE sanctioned events, they should be the same standard basically for online or OTB games. So I don't see why this distinction is being made, and I don't think it should be there. Okay, I think this distinction is wrong. And once you have this unified codex, right? And it's like, guys, like in the criminal law, you have this, you know, every state, every, you know, there is a federal and there is laws, there is other laws, right? And and it's unified, yeah. It doesn't mean that this organization, this has this law, this approach to a certain crime. This organization has this approach to crime, and you say, what crime? There hasn't been any crime, and it says no, but there has been crime committed, because we know it, because we have this proof. Yeah, we have this incredible smart algorithm logic based AI system, but we cannot show it to you. Yeah. So again, it's like secret you know, martial courts or something. And I also think that's wrong. I mean, there is an argument saying that if we divulge this system, right, for which we spend millions of dollars, then some smart cookie will come up with a way to, you know, get around this method, yeah? Well, is that a reason enough, you know? I mean, if you guys are smart cookies, you'll find a way to circumvent this circumvention, yeah? I don't know. Again, from business point of view, it makes perfect sense, but from, you know, from other point of views, it's just, oh, bishop b5. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You know what? Okay, let's just, but if I take it, you play this. All right, you know what? I'm gonna just play like this. Yeah. I played like this against Gelfand with the bishop on f5, right? And then there was queen b6, queen a4, and then with this famous e4 idea. Yeah. I think I used this e4 idea several times now. My about says I live in Russia. Yeah, that's about is outdated. I don't get to that part yet. Are you playing the championships in October? No, I don't play it. But where's the World Chess Blitz and Rapid Championship? 222. Okay. Start 25 December. Regulations open. That's for 23. That's for 22. It doesn't say where, yeah. Yeah, they have the regulations, but they don't have the site yet. Yeah, they don't announce it. Yeah, they usually announce it like a couple months before. Okay. All right, Atomic Morphe, how are you? Sorry, I didn't see the challenge. Yeah, we're discussing the current Twitter statement by Magnus. Very carefully worded statements, asking Hans permission to sort of speak frankly, and it's a very double-edged thing to do for Hans. Because Magnus can say additional damaging things without being legally responsible, even if he has no proof, yeah? So there is a potential for that also. Yeah. See, because Magnus says he doesn't believe that Hans cheated OTB, right? And that is kind of there's this idea, yeah. Yeah, that idea is very strong actually. I missed that one. Okay. Yeah, because, you know, proving OTB cheating is way harder. Yeah. Proving it. You can be suspicious about people playing you, but unless you catch them. Remember how it took a special operation by FIDE and by certain organizers in the event where a certain grandmaster was caught by a camera picture in his bathroom seat, right? Remember that it took only having that direct proof to actually impose, a punishment, yeah? Without anything concrete proof like this, there is not much you can do. Okay? I remember there was a case, there was some Polish girl or something that was also accused of doing something like that, but I don't know how the case was resolved. So somebody knows the update on that, that'll be cool. Wait, Miss Atomic Morphia, they usually take on d6. You're just gonna allow my pawn to leave? Also, I have bishop g4, yeah? Hey, Mr. Holcomb, how are you? Yes, I saw Yosha's videos. Too complicated. The numbers seem to be weird. You don't see the full board. Correct. Let me fix it. Yeah, because I moved it, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to keep the Twitter statement alive. For those of you who didn't see it, there is the statement on Twitter by Magnus. So we're sort of doing the Simul and keeping the Twitter open. Are there any like additional comments on that from higher up? Ask his full reaction. All right. Okay. It's Magnus Carlsen. All right, she's based India. All right, nothing much. All right, Mr. Holcomb, there is a challenge. Yeah, that's what he says he believes in, but you know, believe is one thing and proof is another thing, yeah. Because see, Hans said that he never cheated OTB, okay? Which means that he's taking a stand. All right, we have a second pawn available on e5. I ask queen e2, knight takes d5. The bishop e7, then queen g3, attacking my pawn. And I don't know, because I won't be able to castle any bishop h6. g6, then knight e4, knight f6. Huh. Yeah, this is not so simple, yeah? I thought I have just a pawn, but not so simple. Alright, so bishop e7 probably is too passive. This is way too passive. Maybe I can play bishop d6 there, yeah. Then bishop f4, then I can trade. Not really impressed with that. Also queen g3, knight b5 is also, yeah. Alright, so white has compensation. Alright, I didn't know this line. Apparently this line is not so bad for white. Okay, so if we play solid chess, bishop e7. Well, you know that I play bishop c5 usually in this position, right? You can't have cameras in the bathroom, man. That's the problem. Everybody knows this Polish girl who's king f8 cheated, but officially after appeal now she is clean. World RB this year in Abu Dhabi. If it is in Abu Dhabi or in Arabia, probably not going. Just too far. Doesn't have any at best Chess.com told him that suspect more online cheating. I suspect it's actually not Chess.com who told Magnus about it, but some colleagues, right? Like maybe Nepo, who is still pretty friendly with Magnus. It could also have been some other guys, and then Magnus asked around, you know, Chess.com people, you know, like this usually goes like this, yeah. It's not Magnus' responsibility to provide evidence. Yeah, this is a complicated question, I believe, but I believe that if you say things like, I believe that you cheated, yeah, then these words should have some basis to, you know, to have a basis on which you can do this, yeah. Otherwise, you can just unsubstantially just accuse anybody of cheating and just say, hey, it's not my job. My job is just to say you're cheating. I mean, even when I accuse a lot of people on cheating on chess.com in an online event, right? I go through the games, I look at the accuracy level, you know, so, you know, it gives me a clear picture of what if maybe I just am really bad at chess, or maybe there is some madness, some, you know, how they say this thing, reason to the madness, right? So, and then I say things like, right, I'm not accusing this guy of cheating because that's not my job. My job is just to simply, you know, provide this information to chess.com, and they will make the final decision, right? And again, as I mentioned before, there've been a lot of some people mentioned that a lot of people from the current Olympiad medalists, you know, they were banned by chess.com in the past, and I know that a lot of these guys are actually suspected of cheating, like a few years ago on chess.com, and I actually reported them. And you know, and then some of them disappeared, some of them continued to play, and some of them returned much later. So. And the thing about chess.com is that, you know, they never actually tell you whether your report was success or not, because they actually give you a message that we take your request for this consideration, but we're not going to tell you if your request was successful, right? To preserve the privacy, right? But then again, they do have this list and they show it to some people, they don't show it to everybody. Again, I think that is... you know, that is wrong, but okay, they are in the right? There is the legal right, and then there is this right because you're right, and there is there are so many rights, you know. Let's not go on to that. You can cheat with big events with game being on media. There are a lot of ways to cheat, but you know, the risk of being caught in OTB is way larger, okay? And if you know St. Louis events against like that organizer Chris Bird just mentioned, they always have this metal detector, and they run with this detector basically all over you. I'm not sure if they check the shoes. I've never seen them check the shoes with the metal detector, but they do swipe it over your head, and your body, but maybe not the shoes. Yeah. Okay. Play European Rapid and Blitz in Poland? No, I can't play it because I'm an American citizen. Method to this madness. Thank you, Mr. Atomic Morphine. Mouse Sleep Master. Are you describing this Dubov's video that was recently made, right? Not recently, but it was made like a couple of years ago. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, that was a very funny video, by the way. Yeah. I mean, the theme of cheating is not new in chess. I don't know why people like suddenly discovered this. There's some people who've been talking about this for years now. I mean, one of the guys who always complained about the rampant cheating that's happening, especially in online events. Yeah. So I've been very, very vocal about it. And people always laughed at me, right? People always laughed at me. Look at this guy. He doesn't know how to play chess, and etc., etc. Okay, maybe I don't know how to play chess, but now this problem is still. Now this problem became relevant because if you cheat against Gata, Kamsky, who cares, But if you cheat against Magnus, you're a bad naughty boy, So. Yeah, it's a discrimination, but okay, whatever. Well, you see, the legal system works kind of weirdly in many countries. Okay, so yeah, there is this legal system of presumption of innocence, and there is this. In the U.S., it has to do a lot about burden of proof, right? Burden of proof is huge, right? Who has to prove what? And there is a lot of always wrangling by the attorneys, right? Who has to show burden of proof? And often on this burden of proof lies the result of the case. Okay? Like in criminal law, you have this beyond the reasonable doubt, right? In civil law, you have like something reasonable. I don't know. There was a much smaller, level of proof, etc., etc. Again, it is complicated. I'm pretty sure that there are some countries who don't have such burden of proof. Yeah. On the contrary, the burden of proof is on the victim side or something. So again, many different societies like worked out different systems of jurisdiction over the millennia. But Mr. Shortas, why not just take the pawn on c6 with the knight attacking the bishop, right? And I mean, you can do it always probably, but yeah, you can probably always do it, but yeah, you can do it now, yeah. You can still do it, yeah, because if I take on c3, you take the bishop with the check. That still works. Yeah, but the pawn on c3 is kind of strong. But no, I'm not gonna give you the bishop, yeah. All right, are there more challenges? We're doing the Simul actually today. We're not doing the Twitter discussion of this statement by Magnus, which is very, very clever and lawyer-proof statement. And he's trying to shift the burden of proof on Niemann, right? In this way, because he's saying like, Niemann, give me your words that you're not gonna sue me, then I can tell you everything I think about you, and which might damage your reputation even more, but I don't care because because I believe this is the way it is, yeah. And unfortunately, as long as we don't have the single unified standard on how to deal with people who've been accused of cheating, how to deal with people who are accused of cheating, how to deal with everybody else, with organizations, with all this drama, there's gonna be chaos, and it's gonna be like different treatments for everybody. Yeah. So that's why I mentioned that FIDE should get involved, but FIDE is very scared. FIDE is very scared because I think for them, they don't have any sponsors now. And chess.com has been running a lot of FIDE events, so they really don't want to mess it up with chess.com. And I completely understand them. Okay. I mean, I read some Twitter about, FIDE has been always employing this Professor Reagan, right? Correct me if I mispronounce his name, with his statistical method, yeah. And there was pretty funny line where he says that, he's kind of tired, doing this for FIDE all the time, and why they don't hire their own guys and start doing this, right? And then we have this huge argument between PCL and Emil Sutovsky on this topic. Yeah, it was it's very interesting. Very interesting reading. I would recommend some of you to read all that stuff. Yeah. And, there was this really glaring hole in the budget of FIDE where they put, they have millions and they have hundreds of thousands for expenses for officials, for their travel. They have expenses for commissions. And then, out of all those big figures, you have this fair play committee, 26,000 euros. It has no web page. It has no names of who is on the commission. It has no number of cases. It has no lists of people, and etc. etc. That was actually pretty telling how far behind FIDE is in modern world of chess. Yeah, that was pretty telling. Okay. In Cleveland, somebody was caught. Yes, zero evidence of OTV cheating for Hans, and exactly. They can invite him all they want to say that he cheated, but as long as somebody will provide the proof. I mean, they can talk all about the statistics, but if judicial systems use the statistics as the main evidence and not just the circumstantial evidence, right? If they use the statistics as the main evidence, do you realize how many people will be in jail or just on the death row now? Yeah, no. I mean, there is a reason why statistics is just statistics. Circumstantial evidence, but it's not the decisive factor. Yeah. He has the OTB games 100%. So again, I mean, some games you can easily have 100% accuracy if you just play well-known theory for 20-30 moves. Yeah, that's it. Boom. Like I can give you 100 accuracy percentage draw in Berlin, where Wishnaka loves to make a draw with Wesley all the time, right? Remember that line where you have queen d4 check repetition threefold? I think they made like 20 draws so far in many different tournaments between Naka and Wesley in this line. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how high percentage of that is this draw, but I mean, it's been very well known. Okay, it's up to the organizer to invite or not to invite them people. That's actually not exactly correct. If there are rules which state the qualification rules, like if Hans, for example, right now, right? If he wins the US Junior Championship, he automatically gets a seat on the US Chess Championship, Men's Championship, right? And there is nothing you can do about it. It's the rule, right? Or for example, why Hans was playing in Magnus' event, right? Because according to the rules of his own event, it's like ridiculous because he's basically complaining about the rules which his own company made, yeah. I mean, it's like not very serious. Yeah, I don't understand that. Yeah, that's why Chris Bird posted that statement, because he's not sure like what else they can do, because they've been doing everything unless you do the body cavity search, right? And okay, that's definitely going. Yeah, the other way to avoid the cheating, guys, the other way to avoid the cheating is just take away the money prizes from these events. Okay, take the money prizes, or the rating incentives. Okay, simple. Yeah. Yes, I mean, nobody wants to hear about this drama anymore, especially if it's just more of the same, yeah? Nobody wants this. Mr. Shoras, just take on e7, take on b4, and just chill, yeah? You have extra pawn. e3. Okay, this looks kind of iffy. Although I don't really want to play g5 here. But g5 maybe not the best, not the worst move actually in this position, yeah? Alright, you know what, let's play g5 maybe. Yeah, well, I wanted to put the bishop on g4 sometime, but it seems impossible. Unless maybe I play bishop f5. Yeah, that's what... okay, let's try bishop f5 then. Yeah, that's what I wanted to try. Yeah, because if I can get queen d7, then I can get queen g4, threading f3. Then I can close his... Then I can force him to play f3, and then my bishop on a7 comes alive, yeah? Right now I'm sort of like threading just to take this pawn and then this pawn. So if I can get queen d7, a lot of times you just sacrifice this pawn on f4 anyway, because it opens the rook to attack, okay? a3, king b8. Move the king away from the rooks, right? All logical, standard pretty much. I kind of like king h2. See, he moved his king away from my queen. And now I'm moving my king away from the pins, right? So moving a king from the pins is like basic stuff in chess, okay? So those of you who are new to chess, whenever you see your opponent heavy piece, bishop, knights, or king or queen, they targeting something, look at the way they targeting something, right? If there is a big target, if there is a pin behind, if there is danger, yeah? Always ask yourself a question: why is your opponent playing his last move? What does he want? Okay? That question, trying to understand what your opponent is trying to do, leads to a strong understanding of what to do by yourself, right? Sometimes, you don't know what to do, right? The position looks complicated. So in that case, like in the computer programming, right? You use this recursive method. You go from the back, yeah? I'm not sure if this recursive, okay. For example, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Many different ways to play chess. You can always play your own game, like what usually Gary played. Yeah, he found this incredible plan in his prep, and he just followed it through. Just made the king. You don't need much, finesse about that. Later, after the match with Karpov, he learned, strategic positional chess, and he learned, that sometimes, if you cannot give a mate, okay, you can outplay your opponent positionally, grab advantages, etc., remaneuver. Yeah. Many different ways to play chess. And then, of course, you can play like Petrosian, who just simply denies everything your opponent wants to do. It's like, you want here, denied. You want this, denied. I deny you this. It's like in Dota, right? You deny your creeps to your opponent. Something like that. You have people who don't know how to long castle think Magnus from Denmark talk about the scandal, which is fine. People cheat for free. Yes, I mean, it is possible. Just to feel good, yeah. But again, there is cheating that harms others, or there is cheating that harms you only. There are many ways of cheating. Okay, what is this? 94. Looks very good. Yeah, probably you're right. I have just to take this pawn on e3, yeah? Okay, queen b3, let's go pawns. Wait, queen b3 just give you... Why? Okay, but if I attack your knight, well, where does your knight go, man? If Your knight has nowhere to go, because if you go to c2, I take the queen and take the knight. Mr. Shodads, you had a winning position. Next time, just grab the bishop, you know? When your opponent has pair of bishops, it's almost always a good idea to trade one of them, especially, you know, if your knight is given a choice between taking the bishop or going to an inferior square. Just grab the bishop, okay? Next time. Alright, queen d7, finally. We connect the rooks. The bishop is protected and ready to go to g4. I would have taken with the bishop, okay? Because the bishop difference is there, yeah? Knight a4. So he wants me to take, and then he has pair of bishops again. Nice pawns, etc., etc. Also knight on a4. If I don't take this knight, right? If I play knight d7, black has sometimes ideas like f5, bishop e3. And I really don't want to have my queen on a8. So let's grab this. Yeah. And let's play knight d4, yeah. I think it's viable. a3. He wants to play b4. So we can play a4 and stop it. Or we can allow it. So which one should it be? Big question. Potentially we can also play d5, yeah? You know, I really don't like to allow b4, so let's play a4. Potentially weakness. It's a backward pawn, but potentially also a strong outpost on b3 for your knight, yeah? So... FIDE can do a lot of things, but they are scared. Okay, they're scared to take sides because you know, again, yeah, because they're dealing with high, very important and high up people who have a lot of power in the chess world, right? And they don't want to alienate these people. It's easier to throw Hans, you know, under the bus than risk alienating these entities in chess. It's always easier to throw a small person to the wolves, yeah? It's like this famous anecdote, guys, remember? Like two guys are running from the bear, and then one of them is afraid and the other one is not, and the guy who's afraid says, "Hey dude, we're running from the bear, he's angry, he's gonna kill us, like why not afraid?" And the guy says, "I only have to outrun you," yeah? I mean, human nature is wonderful. Alright, there should be 6. How games with Karpov helped me? Well, easy to confuse Denmark with Sweden. Well, I have to admit I'm very terrible at geography also, okay? Geography is never my strongest point. Like, I don't know a lot of countries and I don't know where they are. Okay, so... are you checking weekly Twig games? Not really checking them. I'm usually downloading them just right before the event, so I can look my opponent games. But it's taking a lot of my willpower to do that. Because, you know, I'm not a professional player anymore, okay? I'm just a retired player who is doing streaming, gaming, and I haven't done a lot of gaming streams lately, but... yeah, because I've been playing a lot of online chess, yeah. I've been playing Rapid Chess Championship, I've been playing Global Chess Championship, I've been playing Fisher Chess Championship, I've been playing Title Tuesdays, Arena Kings. I also have to start finally working on my 3rd volume of the chess books. So as you can see, and obviously I have no intention of, you know, becoming a world chess champion in any variant. Blitz, Rapid, Fisher, no, thank you. You know, I'm like way past that. However, you know, I consider myself, you know, as a person who gives voice to the few who are usually not heard, and I really like sort of a big rebel against big organizations, because, you know, whenever I see something like this where, you know, where the rights of the one small guy goes against the needs of the big and many, usually the small guy loses, yeah. But, you know, the thing about living in the US gave me the sense of rooting for the underdog. So I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I like this concept of rooting for the underdog. And, you know, I was really disappointed by the Magnus statement. You know, I was expecting more. You know, guys, remember how he always promised, like, he would make this statement. He was, and then more, and then he would say this, and then he would say more, and every time, it's just same, and no concrete evidence, and just same, and lawyer is proven spiel. Yeah. I'm very disappointed, to be honest. Very disappointed. I mean, the world champion, he has the obligation to actually uphold, you know, the truth and justice in the American way, sort of, yeah. And right now, what he's doing is basically doing the exact opposite. So he lost the game. So okay, and he didn't play another game. Whose fault is that? Okay. And he doesn't want to play the guy who admitted to be a cheater in the past. But this guy was, again, cheating online when he was young, okay? So, yes, you have these rights where you can say, you know, this guy cheated, I don't want to ever play him again. And I believe that he may be cheating, not just in this area, but also in that area. Yes, he can say that, but, you know, when he says that, you know, opens the witch hunt, right? When he says it without any concrete evidence, just because he says it just because believes it, doesn't make it necessarily true, right? And when you have the world champion, the number one most popular figure in the world of chess, start doing things like that, that's not good, okay? Today's Hans, tomorrow it will be somebody else. I mean, imagine all those guys that were banned by chess.com, right? Why do you think they don't release the list of the players who they banned over the years? Because, you know, the people will just go absolutely bonkers, because there will be so many names there that played all the tournaments online and OTB. Yeah, a lot of respected people. And then suddenly people realize that these people are not exactly, you know, the pillars of the moral superiority. Yeah, which is why I never like to take the stance that I'm, like, you know, better than thou. You know, doing this, I always admitted that I've done a lot of mistakes, but there's one thing I never done is use engine assistance in my chess games. Thank God, you know, at least that's one thing I've never done. I've done a lot of bad things in my life, but, you know, doing something like that and then steal some little prize money from the others, no. Yeah. Thank God. Okay. Rustam said Lasker will never win against me. He is too... what? No, but no, I disagree. I think Lasker would win. I don't think he would win the match, but okay, you know, this is all hypothetical, right? We have to, if we want to consider this match, we have to consider that all these guys in the past, they will get sort of this information that we have in the modern day and age. So the only way to make this match fair is if we use the matrix style of programming and download this information into those guys like Lasker, Valanka, Staney, Salihine, right? So if we download like all my chess knowledge into Lasker, and then we play a match, right? And then who do you think will win? And I would say that if Lasker is given at least like a month time of assimilating the information, understanding it, internalizing it, and coming to a certain conclusion and adding to his way of seeing chess and world at large, there is no reason why he wouldn't beat me in the match. Yeah, I don't see why not. I have always held a huge regard, and so is the same for any other players in the past. If you give them same tools, if you give them time to internalize it, to adapt to, and to utilize it, all this information, I would say they would still be in the top 10 in the world today. They would beat all these guys that are in the top 50, top 100 for sure. Okay? And they would give a run for the money to the top players, top 10 players as well. Yeah? And I'm absolutely sure they will come up and improve on certain things that the modern players do. That is unfortunately one of the things that humanity, lost when we lost the immortality, right? When we lost the long age of living since the biblical times, right? Remember, like in the biblical times, people used to live up to, 500 years. Imagine the immense power and knowledge that living for so long gives you, right? So, anyway, Lasker was my first actually idol. I learned psychology from Lasker, right? And then Petrosian was my second idol, and I learned prophylaxis from Petrosian. I would say that Petrosian was heavily influenced by Lasker as well. And of course, so these were the two guys I was really sort of modeling my chess thinking and my chess playing after. Wait, all right, so let's grab some pawns, yeah. All right, let's grab this guy. Mr. Saptashwa, you have to understand that the whole question is whether Hans actually cheated against Magnus and not according in his OTB game, right? Because if you remember, there was this tournament where they played in a rapid game before the Simul Cup and before the whole drama started, right? Remember how Magnus actually lost to Hans in that game. I think he beat Hans like 2-3 games, but he lost one game, and it was absolutely incredible the way he lost, because the way he lost, he was tied up, hands and feet. He lost like a baby, basically, right? And some players, like there are few players in the world who have such ability, all right, to beat world champion like that. One of them was Vasily Ivanchuk, and his game against Garry Kasparov in 89 comes to mind, I think. And but not that many, like very few people can do that. Yeah, Kramnik did against Kasparov, of course, right? And we got a raid. Woo! We got, oh my god, Grandmaster Hikaru rated me as a party of 4,000. Well, okay, there we go. Thank you, guys. A huge raid from Hikaru, thank you. Yeah, we were just discussing the Twitter and the statements. Hey guys, yes. I didn't watch Hikaru's video yet, but I'll probably watch it later. Of course I'm thrilled. I have huge respect for Hikaru. I don't have to like his flagging things sometimes, but you know, he is deservedly a much stronger player now. So I feel like I'm happy that I didn't play against him in Fisher Random Chess finals. Yeah, because we played in the qualifiers, and he in the first round of the qualifier, and Hikaru just absolutely destroyed me in that game. And as I said before, I think Hikaru is like in his best form now. I mean, look at the way he played in the Candy days. So yeah, I would just advise Hikaru, you know, to take less legal risk with his statements. Yeah, and that's all. Yes, you guys all go into this, and I saw this video by this FM person, and I'll just reiterate what I think about it, and I say the statistics. If we all could make a judgment based alone on the statistics, our prisons in the US will be overflowing with inmates, and there would be so many people on the death row if statistics were allowed to be as the convincing evidence, which is why statistics only is circumstantial evidence, okay? There is no direct evidence in OTB game that Magnus was cheated by Hans in their direct encounter in Sinkfield Cup. There is no evidence whatsoever. So the only evidence exists is that Hans was caught cheating on chess.com in an online event, and this cryptic message that he did more than what he implied in his interview. However, because there is no more information, we're not gonna pursue this. And to be frank, I'm not happy. Okay, I'm not happy with the situation because there's still no guidelines, there's still no rules, there are no procedures. Like everybody, it's like a wild west of chess now. Okay, basically everybody can say whatever they want, without any consequences, without any laws regard to the damage to reputations, etc., etc. Okay, and based on the one word alone, I believe. And as I mentioned before, even if I report people in my games online on chess.com, I will still go over some games, I'll go over some moves. I would consider the probability that the person of this level, of his ELO rating, I would look up the person's ELO, FIDE, I would look up his chart of progress, you know, and based on this cumulative information, I would say that this guy is suspicious or not. But sometimes I would blurt out this guy is cheating, right? But then usually I would take it back and I would say I cannot say that, right? I will discuss the game. My job is to report such suspicious activity. But the final judgment call will be made by the bosses on the platform, which is chess.com. All right. Again, if you don't have evidence, I don't think anybody has a right to, you know, just say, dude, you're cheating. I believe you're cheating. Okay. So that is just not right. All right, guys, I'm not used to this fast scrolling thing that you guys doing in my chat. Okay, I have a very comfortable number of people in my chat, which is usually around from 50 to 100, and then, you know, then we can have a meaningful conversation. And when this chat is running like, you know, 5 sentences in a second, I can't really follow all that, okay? Yes. Well, okay. House 45 moves on 100 circumstantial. Because, again, as I mentioned, I know it was a bad example. I was kind of making fun a little bit at Naka and Wesley. They're making a lot of famous draws in Berlin in their games. Like, if you look at that Berlin draw, right? I don't know what is the percentage of the accuracy, okay? But it's a game, right? It ended in a draw. It has a very high accuracy percentage for sure by default, because it's well-known theory, yeah? I mean, if you have such percentage in Fisher Random Chess, I would guarantee you that that would be pretty much conclusive evidence. But in classical chess, we have theory very well known in the past 200 years and confirmed with the computers in the analysis by leading experts. If you can find some error in the analysis, You're a genius because, you know, the World Chess Championship match participants like Nepo and Magnus, they are looking for guys like you who find holes in the famous analysis with their super mega expensive supercomputers. Okay? I mean, but, you know, they didn't, right? I mean, the computers just confirmed the analysis and they play these lines, which are highly accurate. What's the problem? Do you get a chance to look at Feingold tweets? Not really. Yes, but circumstantial evidence is circumstantial evidence. There is more to life than stats, yes. Again, guys, you have to understand... no, I did not invent the London system. The London system was invented and played in the tournament in London in the 1800s, okay? I just took it and I improved upon it, and I don't care about the name, okay? Thank you for gifting the subs to the community, Mr. CW. All right. Slow modes. Sub-only modes. Alright, yes, but I want to keep the freedom of chat on my channel, okay? The Berlin games will not be counted as all the moves are theory. What do you mean they're not counted? Of course they counted. It's still the game. I mean, if it's not the game, then the results will not be counted as draws and the tournaments will not proceed. Then are you saying that the results of these esteemed gentlemen should be discounted and not used in the tournament standings? Okay. Actually does not take no theory into account. Okay. Right. Slow mode is better than sub only. Berlin draws both the sides. Okay. All right. Again, but guys, I find that, you know, it is, we're living in very interesting times, right? I find it ironic. Again, I just mentioned to all of you guys who weren't here before that we're living in the age where three completely opposite things are possible. All right? That we humans are accused based on the artificial intelligence statistics, and we have to take it into faith that these statistical artificial analyses are correct. So we are invoking three things which are basically anti of each other, right? Spirituality, artificial intelligence, and human ingenuity. Okay? Yeah, so I find it extremely interesting. I'm very glad that you know, the human mind is capable of you know, getting sort of this trans mind sort of approach. But all right, grab bishop e7. Oh wait, I blundered something, right? Not yet. Yeah, maybe rook b8. All right, guys, we're actually doing the Simul against the subscribers today, so you know, unless wait, what am I gonna do here? All right, so we're gonna challenge the file, right? That's the first thing. Rooks belong on the open files. Yes, guys, I heard. And so it is statistics, yes? Statistics. Yes, guys, you see, I'm not the only one. Fabi also said that, right? The statistics is a very dangerous tool. And I always said that. Statistics, because, you know, we're not the first to talk about the evils of the statistics, right? Remember, like, Mark Twain and his lies, and damn statistics, right? Remember how there was this famous anecdote about the math people... yeah, there was this very famous anecdote about the math people, about the accountants and the statisticians, right? So, and these people are hired, right? And in order to be hired, they have to solve a simple exercise. And the exercise says 2 plus 2 equals what, right? So these guys, they say like based on this methods, the math says, okay, it's just, 4. The accountant says based on this, annuity percentage, etc., based on that. And then the statistician comes and says, he closes the drapes of the windows. He walks up to the table and says, what do you want it to equal to? Yeah, okay. Again. All right, wait. There is some checks here. No, but I don't believe it. Rook d5. It's impossible to prove cheating otherwise. Do you suggest full cavity searches before a match? Yes, FIDE and IOC treats doping. I agree. That's definitely the good start. That would be a very good start, actually. All right. No, this is not the first time I get Hikaru raid, but it's nice to have it. I'm sort of a chess.com streamer after all. Again, guys, it's a lot of things you just have to have on faith, right? I'm not a big proponent of going to the religion, but again, does God exist, right? You have different people who can answer this question differently. And what does the statistician say about this question? Gentlemen, I'm curious, okay? I'm curious to know what's the statistician opinion of the probability of the existence of God. All right? I don't know. I'll be very curious to know. So some of you have some friends who are statisticians. Please ask him this question and then let me know what they say about it. It's no disrespect meant at all, okay? I believe myself in higher power, and I believe, that everything will be placed finally in the way it is meant to be. All right, Mr. Holcomb, thank you for the game. Guys, I apologize to my subscribers who were playing Simul today. We got very unusual Simul today. I was not really going to all this drama until somebody mentioned this tweet by Magnus, and I was very disappointed with it. Because it's more of the same. He doesn't want to say anything because he's scared of the legal reasons, because of his lawyers telling him, this is not safe and safe to say. Chess is math. Wow, Mr. Paradox. Guys, this is another brilliant statement. You should actually put it on Twitter, man. I mean, chess is math. Wow. Okay. So chess is not art. Chess is not sport, but chess is math. Is math a sport? Can I ask a question? Is math a sport? Because everybody agrees that chess is a sport, right? I admit my mistake. The Olympic Committee does not agree that chess is a sport. But FIDE says that chess is partially a sport. In some sense, everything is math. Okay, if you say that there is a big element of math in chess, I agree. But, okay, let's clarify the statement. Are you saying that chess is 100% math, right? Or not? Okay? Because if you say chess is 100% of math, I will have to disagree with you on that. Okay? Oh, Chess International Committee actually recognized chess as a sport in '99. Oh, they did. I didn't know that. Oh, thank you, Mr. Rift Pilot. I didn't realize that. By German law, chess is a sport. Okay. Well, you guys remember that in the American law, chess is like gambling, right? So, stats say believe in God. Okay, very interesting, Mr. GS Train. Thank you, I like that. All right, math is art. Wait, math is art, or wait, is it the other way around? Is art math? Yeah, I mean, guys, you're making a lot of incredible statements. Actually, I really love this. Thank you so much for giving me your insight. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Yeah, one thing I really believe in is that the human mind capacity to, to understand and make the links between completely different things, right? And sort of make a big picture out of this. Wait, are you saying love is math also? Rebecca Lauren, can you please tell me if love is math? Really? Is faith a math too? I would say that chess has elements of a lot of things. Chess is an element of math. Chess is an element of philosophy. Chess is an element of sport and emotion and like everything in life. Yeah. Cheating is math. No, you know about cheating is math. I would say like it's not guns that kill people, but people kill people. So it's not cheating that is math. It's people that are cheating. Okay. John Nash thought that and it became an obsessive insanity. Wait. You end up chasing pigeons in the park trying to map up their movements. Our thoughts are based in basic decision making. There are variables at play. Well, so you're saying that the free will that we were given as humans is just basically a bunch of variables at play, right? So basically we're just mathematicians who consider variables. So wait, let me get this straight. So you're saying all those chemicals that are made in the body by the effect of the emotions, all these chemicals are just mathematical formulas, right? And they have nothing extraordinary. And if we continue that train of thought, that means we all have the same chemical molecules, compounds, then we're basically just one and the same, right? Then how come we're all so different? I mean, okay. Yeah, okay. We can always, yeah. I mean, math exists, right? I agree that math exists, and math is fundamental, one of the fundamental laws in nature, and one of the governing principles of the universe, right? Absolutely. But to say that math is 100% everything is a little bit too much. Yeah, because then love would be a science, right? I don't think love is a science. It's not math. I mean, there were many different attempts by leading mathematicians, right, to create this formula of love, right, to calculate this formula that would be perfect, and they would sort of match people together, and they would say this is a perfect match, right? I mean, if that was true, you would open this website with 100% certainty of mathematical certainty that your matchmaking will be always correct. Then you'll become a billionaire, So that didn't happen, and I wonder why. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am. Okay. Okay. All right, great questions. Okay. Again, I have huge respect for math. How do you survive winter in Siberia? You think Hans will survive in gulags? Dude, I have been out of Russia for the past 2 years. I'm not in Russia anymore. But I was born in Siberia, so, I like the nature there. When you get older, you sort of hear this nature call and you want to, be around the green stuff more. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to have less noise, you want to have more communication with Mother Nature, you want to feel closer, like, being a part of this world, not just, working 9 to 5 in the center of Manhattan, running from day, job, family, sleep, right? A little bit more meaning in life than just that. And nature kind of provides that a little bit. I don't know if that makes any sense. All right, guys, I love math and chess has a lot of math, but this is chess channel. Yes, and thank God that we don't understand how brain works, because the moment we understand how brain works, hello AI and hello Skynet. Yeah, is your accent fake? You heard you're an Indian. You mean, yeah, no. No, I'm sorry. I love India though. I love India. My personal preference for food is Indian food. Are you a hobby gardener? No, but I live next to the cathedral and we live in a very green area. So I'm kind of like, in a perfect spot, thank God. No pun intended. Why Hans doesn't allow Magnus to show evidence? You think Magnus has evidence? I don't think he has evidence. If he had evidence, we would have seen it a long time ago. His only evidence is I believe. I think. Important qualifier. Okay. As technology evolves, we won't have to work so hard to use it, and we will have an advanced society where we turn to basic human nature with technology serving other. Okay. Yes, so I didn't update my description. Sue me. Sorry. Yeah, I wanted to. I keep not getting my hands on that. I'm not Naka. Okay, those of you guys who came from Naka's channel. He is in his 30s, guys. He has unlimited number of energy. Okay, when I was in his age, I could do so many things. Okay, like for hours. All right, I could play like every quest for hours, and then I could go and play on ICC for many hours, and then I could do a lot of other things. Okay. When he gets my age, I want to see how he does what he does now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he'll be limited. Okay. Perfect. Then your perfect match, Rebecca Lauren. I assume this is the female name, and maybe you're just made for each other. A match made in mathematical heaven. Okay. Read the book Mathematical Universe by Max. He's a physicist who believes the whole universe is literally just math. Actually, guys, if you remember, like a few years ago on one of my streams, I suggested that the world we live in is actually an illusion, a sort of an illusion experiment, right? Like we create an experiment, and in order for the experiments to be authentic, we have to make sure they are not contaminated, right? So we let these experiments run on their own. And I have a feeling that, some time ago I had this feeling that our world is basically an experiment where we're contained, we're given a set of rules, and we're basically on our own, and they're watching us, yeah? And imagine later, and no, I'm not kidding, I'm married. Imagine how later that actually, picked up, and people actually seriously discussing this possibility. And I was not talking about the string theory or anything like that, yeah, because I have no idea. I'm not a math major. I like to read science fiction books, including Isaac Asimov, who actually spoke, and other authors who spoke about a lot of things that are happening nowadays a very, very long time ago, and finally they coming to reality. And it's very, very encouraging to see the human brain actually perceive these things far in the past. You would definitely love to learn chess from strong players. So there are a lot of strong guys who are actually teaching and streaming and available. Yeah, I don't have enough energy to teach, to stream, and do other things. I apologize. But I'm glad that you guys stopped by on this channel and put your interesting views on some subjects here. It will give us food for thought for for discussion in the future. Okay, Mr. Atomic Morphe, thank you for gifting tier 1 sub to the community. Thank you. Matrix theory again. Why is the entire chat talking about math? Because math is and always will be in the center of the universe. Just kidding. Yeah, it started with the Hansen because he is making 100% accuracy moves. Okay, so then we went into the statistics, and then we went into how statistics related to math, and somehow then it became sci-fi and philosophy, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the center of the universe I just got, from this, I was reading Twitter, and then I came across this tweet about the Marvel universe and the objects that are considered to be more powerful than the gauntlets of Infinity Gems, right? Yeah, I'm a big dork. I know. I love Marvel and the X-Men and stuff like that. So I was very curious, of course, and I said, okay, so any chess drama news today, they will have to wait because I have to read this stuff first. Yeah, it's very important. So I read what the people wrote, and apparently there was this very strong artifact named the Center or the Garden of the Universe or something. Yeah, there is a lot of chess sci-fi books that I would love to read, but I have no time. Okay, I would love to, but I have no time. Yeah, if I was in my 20s, I would be doing a lot of things, as I said, but no. Top break on the knockout. Thank you. I just caught that Armageddon. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Armageddon was tough. Yeah, it's very tough to play youngster who is a speedy demon when you have no increment. Yeah, and because we just played 4 games with the increment, I kept thinking it is with increments, and I didn't switch my mental gears on in time. And at the end, I'm seeing he has like 5 seconds left, and my clock went down to 0, and then I realized I have no increments because I'm making moves and the time is not adding up, and I forgot. Yeah, yeah. The brain has this amazing ability. And this is something actually that I have quite a big discussion with my wife about, is that she remembers everything. And fortunately for me, I remember only things that like really special to me or like happened a few days ago. Above that, I stopped remembering stuff. Okay? And then, I realized, if you, did some bad stuff in life, obviously remembering bad stuff is the sort of brain's function, like a defense function from living in a constant guilt. Yeah, so in a ways it's good, but on the other hand, remembering everything is both a curse but also a blessing. Yeah. Right. So yeah, so that's what I said. They told me specifically before the Armageddon that there will be no increment. I even asked this question to confirm it. But when I play the game, I still forget it. I still forgot it. It's like, Hopefully it's not the beginning of the Alzheimer. Um, some chess games for the most part, critical positions. Playing chess over taxes memory. Chess over taxes in memory? I think it goes together. I think chess actually stimulates your brain. So, and it sort of makes you forget. No, I don't think so. Because again, my wife remembers absolutely everything. All the games, where she played them, what were the circumstances, which people were present, and what was the position. She remembers everything. I'm like sometimes horrified. I'm like, wow, I don't remember what I was doing, and she remembers it. So, you know, and then it's actually a very bad precedent, because then I sort of like give myself a very easy way out, and then I don't have to remember things because I know that my wife remembers it. And then I say, honey, like, what was happening on this day, and why didn't I do this? And then I know that she knows. Okay. Yeah, that's why I said you guys should always get married. Yeah, because when one is incomplete. Okay, but when you're together, you're complete. Okay. All right. She's a world junior champion for women under 20, and she's a women's grandmaster. So she is pretty good, and she's sometimes kicks my ass in the blitz or Fischer chess. No, very rarely, but it happens. Yeah. So I'm trying to encourage her to play more Fischer random chess, because it's not regular chess. Yeah, for the regular chess game you have to prepare, and she's very responsible. When she prepares for the game, she has to spend like hours in preparation. And I said, honey, don't worry about that. In Fischer random chess, you don't have to prepare. Okay, you just play chess. Some of you guys, take chess theory way too seriously. Understand? I understand. You need to know chess theory if you want to get good results. But if you want to enjoy chess, just play the game. Don't worry about the result and enjoy it. Okay. You can solve Rubik's. Okay, solving Rubik's. Okay, great, man. I apologize, Mr. Shodas. I'm missing a lot of moves. Hopefully you don't mind. Yeah, guys, Atomic Morphine Shodas. I apologize. Yeah, today's Simul was hijacked by Magnus Carlsen's statement and Hikaru Nakamura's raid with mathematical professors. Sorry. Both topics are very interesting. We couldn't miss it. So, actually, we should ask Hikaru. What does he think about math? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like any chess player, he has a pretty big interest in math and statistics. So, guys, you should ask him this question next time. Okay. All right. Yeah. You know what would be actually great if Naka, he's the leading face of chess.com and streamers population. He should actually invite Dr. Reagan for an interview. Guys, can you suggest maybe one of the top streamers who are professional grandmasters at chess.com? They can invite Professor Reagan and sort of have an interview with him, right? And ask him all sorts of interesting questions. I think that would be a very interesting idea. I saw Professor Reagan. He has definitely time because he responds on Twitter and stuff, yeah. So usually the math, Danny should do, right. Danny actually can do it also, yeah. Excellent. So Danny can do it, absolutely. All right, so let's play h6. Mr. Atomic Morphe, you know what I'm playing, why I'm playing this move, right? Probably not the best move. Maybe a5, a4, knight a5, knight c4 is best. The reason I say it's best because if you play a5, a4, you fix the pawn on b2, and then you have knight a5, c4, closing the file, putting the knight on c4, which will be attacking b2 pawn. attacking e5 pawn, but most importantly provides the square for the king to c5 to go to d4 and then b4. Yeah, then outpost on c. That's why in the French defense, a lot of times black pushes the pawn to a4, so he can create this outpost on c4 for his minor pieces. Most importantly, the knight. Okay, that's the standard thing in the French defense structure. So we're back to chess, gentlemen. I agree, Mr. Stevkish. I was very disappointed with the statement by Magnus, because it basically said absolutely nothing except just say that he believes that Hans cheated. It also made a very significant point, which I completely disagree with, is the point that the OTB chess and online chess security should be different for these two events. I disagree. I think cheating is cheating, yes, which Magnus also says. He says cheating online, OTB is the same, it's just bad, yeah. But for some reason in this message he says he focuses on the OTB chess more, and at the same time he puts more burden on the organizers to provide this cheater-proof conditions. And I absolutely love this comment by the very respectable American chess arbiter Chris Bird, who says, we're already doing everything we can, what do you want us to do more? Do the search which is incompatible with the human decency law, basically meaning, you know, are we going to do the body cavity search now in chess tournaments? And again, this leads to the question, if this happens in chess, and chess is quasi-sport, why not this moves into the other sports, right? Imagine all those soccer, football, all those big sporting events, boxing, right? The opponent, just seconds before he's been knocked out, he can say, or before the touchdown made, right? Or before some other big event happens, he says, wait, you're cheating. You have an artificial limb, or you have an artificial chip, or you have the substance, right? Arbiter, body cavity searching, please, I demand. Right? And what's gonna happen? Imagine, right? It's just gonna ruin sports completely. You're not gonna do body cavity search in chess. There's no way. But there has to be regulations and some uniform rules and procedures. Okay, that I'm pretty sure that the humans are very smart creatures. They can find some ways, you know, to solve the problem. Come on, guys. You know, we've been smart enough to figure out how to start the fire, right? This is should be a little bit less complicated than that. Okay. Hi. Magnus is the only person to speak up. You got lost after 10 moves of my analysis. Yes, chess is very complicated. Magnus is not the only person to speak up, but see, there are two different things. You can speak up, or you can make false allegations. Yeah, I mean, as a world champion, he has the responsibility to create standards by which other people will follow. And when you say, I believe this guy is cheating, OTB, is not actually creating this nice, useful standard. Okay? What I would prefer from him is, like, you know, he lays down some evidence, like why I believe this guy should not be trusted, right? Why I believe, you know, he may have committed this heinous error of cheating. There should be some facts, yeah. And so far, the statement is that we're given is the same lawyer-approved nothing. Yeah. All right, so I was very disappointed with that. Because once again, it just poured more damage on Hans Niemann, and without providing any evidence. And I think the situation is really getting out of hand, and people should start actually coming to the defense of this poor Hans. So he cheated on online. Okay. Yes, he was a minor. Yeah, he was a minor then. Yeah, there is a reason minors. I mean, if all the minors that were caught cheating on chess.com and they finally were released, their names they were released and the list was given away. Do you realize how many of today's absolute famous prodigies and youngsters would be now, looked at if we discovered their names? And I'm pretty sure they're like a lot of them have done this in the past. Yeah. If you followed my streams for the past few years, there were quite a few youngsters that I actually said that this youngster, he is very suspicious. And then, when they came back several years later, and we played again, then I noticed, now he plays like a normal human being, okay? And if I, without all the statistical methods, with my old 10-year-old engine knowledge of how the engines work, if I can detect that, I mean, these guys at chess.com with their modern equipment and algorithm, they can detect it 100 times better than that. Okay. Gata reports everyone under 35. Then you should also mention that I report only males and not females, yeah? Come on, man. Not really. Tell us names. I don't have names. They never showed me. They have only select people they show this list to. Unfortunately, I'm not on the selected list. You know why? Because I've been always a rebel against bigger organizations and the secrecy that they maintain. Yeah. That's why I got banned on not banned. I got my streamers I got my streamer's badge removed from Lee Chess, right? Because they said I kept discouraging and making accusations on Lee Chess. Anyway, it's long history. It's long time gone. Because the reporting system on Lee Chess was so bloody complex and inconvenient. Yeah, I don't know why they should make it way simpler, like on chess.com, right? On chess.com, you just basically click on the name, report, and click the options that you have possible, and click on cheating, and submit, and that's it, right? Because it's just a freaking report, okay? My God. It's like an esport game, right? After the game, you have this window and that says that you can report a player for terrible behavior, for other things. But on chess, you have this way more complicated system. Yeah, you have to provide the link to the game. You have to solve this mate in one move thing. Yeah, and then you have to spend like at least a minute or two doing that. Remember the Live Chess dev was in my chats? I don't remember that. Yeah, but I remember he was not happy. Yeah. What do you mean I don't play League Chess anymore? I play League Chess. I just played Fisher Random qualifiers on League Chess. I got to the final four and I played Isipenko while Naka played Sivian. I lost to Isipenko, Naka beat Sivian, so Isipenko plays Naka for the trip to the Iceland, and I play Sivian for the third place. It was a fantastic event. I absolutely love Fisher Random Chess. And I managed to beat Sivian in absolutely crazy games. I will actually probably do a review of this on Wednesday, okay? I will do the review of this Fisher Random incredible day on Wednesday. So Naka beats Isipenko and he gets the ticket to the Iceland World Fisher Chess Championship. So again, congrats to Naka. I think he is definitely one of the favorites in the event, and I wish him the best. Yeah. You always report the jungler. Yeah, just the one move puzzle. It's not. It's just, but it's time consuming. Okay. I remember I once forgot to do this mate in one, and I click submit, and then it told me to start from the scratch, and I just like, I'm not spending 1 minute to report this guy. He's just not worth my time. Yeah. Sometimes it's like this. Another statistics, right? There's I think there's a lot of social like coding, like the way people think, and there are some like social networks and some other organizations which take that into account, and the predictability of human reactions, right? Yeah, and I get a feeling like we often get played, like we're given the illusion of the choice, but then really we don't have this choice because all the possibilities were thought of in advance, and we're giving like two simple, obvious dangled before our eyes, like obvious choices, and we have to pick one of the two, right? In fact, of course, there is usually more than two, but these are the two obvious ones, and in order to go for the third, you have to waste time and to look for it, yeah? And the question is, most of the people, would they go and look for this third choice or not? Probably not. Yeah. No, I'm not saying Lee chess system was bad. Guys, okay. I'm just saying it's just, to me, it was more complex, okay? I'm not saying anything bad about Lee chess, guys. Come on. These guys, I'm happy that they exist, all right? They are, all right, they exist and it's good for chess, but I'm a chess.com streamer, so I'm not gonna get into this, okay? My job is to stream for chess.com. Some of the most, I would say that every time I say something, it could be stupid, it could be great, I don't know, but it's my version, right? My views, they don't reflect the views of the chess.com. But I am on the part of the chess streaming team, okay? So, these days etiquette is to report anyone you lose to. Depends. Again, I'm sometimes guilty of having this irrational. We're not fucking robots, right? We're humans. We have emotions. Sometimes these emotions, they run from the dinosaur times, and this like fight or flight is unconscionable. It's at the level that I'm just like hitting this report button without actually realizing why I'm so angry, and without going to the analysis. And then I still like to think that I like to stop and then at least review the game before I, finally complete this report. But sometimes it happens and I just file the report right away. Yeah, it happens. And again, because I'm a human, yeah. But, at least I'm happy that I'm not making a final decision whether to ban this player or not. It's not my job, and I'm very happy that's not my job, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not saying the humans in the dinosaur age. I'm saying that we have some organs in the human brain. Again, somebody said that the human brain is not 100% understood yet, right? And just same goes for the human DNA, right? They found a lot of chunks of DNA which is considered not to be useful. But of course, I think it obviously used. It's just because they're not activated because the chess brain is only working at the 7% capacity, right? And the human monk's brains, they work like at somewhat higher capacity, but still not as high. And those of you who remember the movie Lucy, and we talked about it, yeah, she managed to activate in the movie, she managed to activate the 90% capacity. Even at 30% capacity, she started doing some incredible things, right? But at 90% capacity, she became absolutely like incredible. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of this DNA encoding stuff. It will become activated once once a human mind reaches this brain capacity. Okay. That movie is BS. Again, it's just what I believe in. You don't have to agree with me, and but I like that movie. Yeah. Obviously, it's a fiction, obviously, but you know, that movie was actually trying to make you pause and think about some things. Yeah. Anyway, some things like we don't know yet, or we don't understand that. That's what I think is art all about, because art is sort of allowing you to stop from your everyday things, doing your everyday routine, and actually think about some things, right? Stop and notice that there is something larger in this world. Wait, it's my move? Yeah, it was my move. Okay. All right, so let's do this. A5, A4. No, I'm not writing science fiction movies. Again, it's just nice to think about some different possibilities, yeah? Would we live shorter or would actually live longer? I don't know. I mean, the common age, the common rule states that, as we get older, our brain gets less work and we fall into this dementia faster, right? So that means if the brain is actually kept stimulated, right, we actually live longer and meaningful life, right? So why would you say, I mean, it makes certain sense also, but I think it makes more sense if the brain is actually, if it's working at more capacity, then I think the human body and the human chemistry would actually benefit from it. But of course, like all the true sci-fi, stories go, usually, everything which is, when we play God and we try to meddle with the genes and human improvement and being cyborgs, right? And then there is militarization comes in, and then nothing good comes out of it. Which brings me to another interesting topic, like a lot of progress in humanity, in science, was done with the help of the research and development in the military industry, right? At the same time, there are a lot of more and more terrible weapons being created with the help of such technology. So technology ultimately, good or bad, yeah. Anyway, so well, that's the point, Mr. Akiva. We don't know, right? I mean, if the brain is stimulated more, it is possible that the stimulation will activate those genes that we don't understand. And these genes, they will activate some mechanisms which will do both, right? Like, you can make this argument to a car, right? You're afraid to start the car because the way it works, there will be damage to the surroundings, right? The CO2 coming out, etc., etc. The faster you go, right? There are benefits, and as I'm saying, I was trying to say that there are benefits, of course, and consequences, right? And bad effects, yeah. So we don't know. I was just hoping that some of those sequences which are not being decoded, trying to be decoded, which appear to be useless, in fact, maybe are not so useless after all, and they serve some function. Yeah. But once I just fear that one day the sequences are completely understood and the genes are starting to being played with, then we discover something which can make people become superhuman. Now that's when the real trouble will come in, right? Everybody will want to become a god. Yeah. I don't know, guys, if you read this book. It was called The Saga of the World. It was one of my favorite books for a very long time. And it tells the story of the Markovians, right? And in one of the sequels, there was this scientist. Yeah, he sort of discovered the secret to, becoming sort of like this almost omnipotent guy, and anybody could become like that, yeah. But because he feared this invention could be used in the wrong hands, for disastrous results, he buried this information. And it was very interesting. It's not the only book, obviously, that deals with the subject, but I mean, I read that one, okay? And to me, that was very impressive. And I wanted to see this, the first book, into the movies. I remember that I wrote to the author asking him why wasn't the movie made, because everybody else was put on screen, right? Like Michael Crichton was put on screen, Asimov's books were on screen, but this guy, he was never on screen. Yeah, no major motion picture. And I asked him why, and he said, well, that was actually he wrote actually this script based on the first book for the movie, but there was some arguments, and I also think that the technology at the time was not ready, yeah, because it required like James Cameron sort of technology. And I wanted to write to James Cameron asking him to sort of make this book a movie, but I didn't think he would listen to me. So some of you guys who have some connections with the Hollywood, with James Cameron and maybe some other guys, if you can take a look at this book and think of the possibilities, that would be great. I mean, I would watch it just as bad as Marvel's. I think they have way more, because Marvel's is like a comics book, yeah. But this is more like about possibilities of humans in the future. Anyway, so that was the pitch. Okay. Urban Legends. You played a game in an OTB tournament against 19-year-old guy. He plays 2 rapid games on the internet each morning and goes for an hour walk. Nice dude, except he has these prepared King's Gambit lines. Okay. All right. Yeah. He's busy filming Avatar 5. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Wow. Midnight at the Well of Souls was the book 1 of the Well World saga. So if you want to take a look at it, it's Midnight at the Well of Souls. Yeah, that book that started it all. He wrote a bunch of sci-fi series stories. Another one that I liked was the Kintaro Marathon. It was more about it was sci-fi, but it also has to do a lot with how humans deal with stuff. Yeah, it was very human way of just like Isaac Asimov in a way, but he with his own distinct style. Yeah. And then he passed away, this author, and I was like, really? But he made 2 sequels. Yeah, the sequels, I don't think people really like the sequels. Yeah, the more modern sequels. Yeah, he wrote the sequels after the 5-volume saga. I mean, they were okay, but the original 5 were the best. Yeah, I mean, he ends the saga, the 5-volume saga, with a bang. I'm not gonna tell you this bang, but there was like the huge cosmic bang. Yeah. Did you know that you're in 1% of Twitch streamers? Not really. Do I care? No, I don't really care. How much longer will you avoid the fact that Wesley is so a cheater? He's literally using God as his help over the board. Yeah, right. Okay. At the elite level, King's Gambit is probably better for black, but in reality, those games are so crazy. Yes, actually, one of the grandmasters used the King's Gambit against me in one of the recent tournaments. I was so shocked. The balls to play King's Gambit versus me. And it actually worked. She actually kicked my ass. I was like, damn. Okay. Okay, since you don't want to push this pawn on f4, I guess I'll have to do a little bit of the nudging. A little bit of the nudging. Although now it becomes actually double-edged, yeah? Because the bishop in the endgame is traditionally stronger than the knight. Why? Because of the far reach, yeah? And the knight has to hop over to stop the pawn, for example, pass pawn. The bishop has way easier time stopping pass pawns than the knight. Yeah. You can just point and say this diagonal, I'm stopping you here. And the knight has to be like very close, yeah? In the influence area of the knight. Yeah, he won because I didn't remember anything and then I blundered the knight. It was a blitz game. What do you think? It was a blitz game. In the classical game, I think I will manage to find something. I would remember Bobby Fischer's great saying, like staying chill. And, actually what I would recommend if you're facing an unknown line in the opening, it's just like what everybody is doing, which is nothing special. Just look for a normal way to continue your development. And if nothing is hanging, just finish your development. You end up in a maybe slightly worse position, but it's playable. And you go ahead and outplay your opponent later, in the middle game or in the end game. So he prepared for you surprise in the opening, unless it is something that you see that if you do this, you lose, you do that, you lose, and you do this, and you do this, and it's possible, but it's crazy. Yeah, then you have to utilize that power of calculation skills that you trained, right? You do not forget to train your calculation skills. And there are so many books out there that allow you to train your calculation skills. A lot of books. All you have to do is pick one and just go through the book, solve all those things, and you will raise your elo and your understanding of the game and your skill. I would say by at least, but it depends on your elo range, but it will get you to at least like 2000 level at least, right? Just if you go through one of those books. There's a book by Strugatsky called okay. I read Belyaev mostly in Russia. I think it was Belyaev. I keep my memory for names is very bad. B482. Did you win though? Did I win what? Challenge you to win every time against people who rely on prepared theory way too much. Just today I've seen your game against Vishay and it was some quiz with Hikaru and Vicious games. You're highlighting your message, you don't know what to say. Say hi, it's fine. What calculation? Again, there are so many calculation books. Calculation books, I mean, middle game calculation, yeah, end game calculation, anything related to calculation. Like, remember we had this person in our chat today was talking about the math and importance of math, and the element of math in chess is huge. Calculation, yeah, you have to juggle those numbers in your brain, man. Juggle those lines, and the calculation is what? You calculate the line, and at the end, you learn how to properly evaluate the position. I mean, what's the point of calculation if you don't understand what's at the end of it? Yeah? So that's what calculation is all about. I mean, the first guy who really started doing was actually Kotov. That's why, his book was a huge game changer for me. And the game changer for a lot of guys in Soviet Russia. And they were like asking like, why there's so many strong Soviet Union people who play chess so well. No, because Kotov, he was like the guy who had no talent. He was considered to be not talented at all. He was first category player who worked hard at chess and achieved nothing. He could not win, he could not get anything. And then he was thinking about it, he came up with his own method. And it works. And he became a grandmaster like in 1 year with that method. That method was built upon calculating. It was a simple system. It's like what was the first system built for the engines. Yeah, just the calculation stuff. Now they use neural nets, but they still use they still use the candidate moves, right? I mean, candidate moves like the basic system, and Kotov was like one of the first who came up with this. And it improved my game because I realized that I'm missing a lot of candidate moves and missing a lot of possibilities. Yes, I think Simul was one of the American guys. Yeah, but there were like so many American authors I've never read. I mean, at the time I was very busy playing the events and I was not reading them because, most of the books were at the beginner and intermediate level. And when you play at the advanced level, you don't need that stuff, right? So when you get older, when you get more advanced, you start to pay attention to more advanced teachers. And unfortunately, I never paid attention to Dvoretsky, and his stuff is for advanced, like for grandmasters, right? And people for that level, more or less. So there are different books for every level, yeah? So there's always, if you're thinking how to improve, there is at least one book which aims for people at your level. You just have to find it, okay? And you have to work with it like a working manual, like in college, right? You want to learn this course, you have this course textbook, you have the material to remember, you have the material to practice, and then you have the exam. Except that in chess, the exam is actually, the tournament game with the classical time control against a stronger opponent, where you practice your knowledge that you just acquired, okay? So look at it this way. So guys, those of you who are have never been to college, who've been to college like decades ago, just imagine chess like another college, okay? And, to make it a fun experience, to make it like really like a college analogy, invite your girlfriend or significant other to accompany you on this journey, all right? Why not? Yes, Poker actually had a very good book. Okay. When I got my GM title was when I won one of the world's top closed events in Tilburg. I had a lot of norms from Swiss tournaments. I had like 4 or 5, maybe 6 GM norms from playing in the Swiss events, but because I had no round robin event, I could not get the title. And then they invited me to Tilburg, and I managed to co-win it with Vasily Ivanchuk, and they granted me my GM title in 1990. So they gave me a GM title when I was like 2650 LO. Yeah, it was kind of funny because I skipped the international master title. They never gave me the international master title, so I skipped it from, you know, FIDE master to grandmaster. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you for the game, Mr. Atomic Morphe. Once again, apologies for so many distractions today. Distractions? What did I say? Oh, distractions, not destruction. Not the destroyer, the distractions. Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's already 12:34 at night, guys, so I apologize. Okay, that was that. So, Mr. Shoraz, we have your game remaining. I'm surprised Mr. Dillman didn't make it today. This guy who improved in a year, Kotov, that's what I said. He wrote a book based on his method. Think like a grandmaster and play like a grandmaster. I think Like a Grandmaster was the first book. It is a classic. It's a canon for every Soviet Union player. Okay? It is a canon. I studied it also, and it helped me. Okay? It was the beginning of the system of how to learn how to properly calculate lines in chess. Because what happens a lot and when I stop playing chess like for extended period of time, I lose that practice, that feel, and I also lose that practice how to properly calculate. And I catch myself that I look at this line, then I don't like it, then I look at another line, then I don't like it, then I look at the third line, and then I return to the first line, and then I look at it again. And that way I waste so much time, right? What you should do is that, again, you should look at all the candidate moves in advance, and then you should calculate every single line, and and then you make a decision, right? If you're still unsure, you just briefly run over, calculate, make sure you don't blunder anything, and you have to make a choice. Yeah, because that's how that is how a lot of times people get into the time trouble, right? Because they don't trust their calculation skills, they don't trust themselves basically, and they wait for this time control to hit you, because then they sort of get this release from the necessity of calculating, and they just go by the instinct and quick calculation. They finally permit themselves to play fast. Yeah, that is a trap. It is a pretty common trap also. So that's why you need to learn proper calculation in chess, okay? That's why I said, if you learn how to properly calculate in chess and make this rational decision and correct decision making, it doesn't have to be correct, it just have to be, based on a certain system. Whatever works for you, you find your own way how things work for you. And your elo will improve, your level of play, your understanding will improve, and your confidence will improve. And confidence is a huge thing in chess. Huge. I mean, the psychic, emanation coming from guys. Like, remember how I was talking, like, when you play people, like, very known killers like Kasparov and Karpov, right? The way they come at the board and the way they sit at the board and they stare at you and they make a move, like, you can feel it. Like, it has nothing to do with chess. It's like they saying, like, I'm much better than you, I'm gonna crush you, you have no chance. Yeah. It's like, look at this move I make. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, it's like this trash talking, but it's in the mind and in the body language. It's not verbal, but it might be just as verbalized. Yeah. The Lord of the Rings is a fantastic book. Yeah. Hikaru Dad has a good book. I don't know. It'll be real time when you start playing OTB. Okay. Oh my god. Alright. Oof. That's a lot of information. Okay, I cannot comment on that. You got a GM title, General Dude, our parents gave us a lot of titles when we were kids, okay? Some of them we're not really have ever outgrown. uh, okay. Yes, Blitz is not very helpful for your classical chess, and it is fun, but I mean, it can be useful as long as you play Blitz versus very strong opponents, and then you analyze the game. Then why not? I always say to youngsters and to people that I, sort of coached in the past, and the youngsters, right? Always play in the title Tuesdays, for example, always, because you get a practice against strong opponents. And it's a win-win situation. If you win, you get confidence. If you lose, you get material to study from and improve upon. So, Blitz is okay as long as, again, you play strong player and you learn something. Yeah. Yep. How do Karpov Kasparov compare to model players? Well, I would say that they used a lot of psychology. As I said, this killer attitude in Karpov and Kasparov was way more. I think it also has to do with the fact that chess was a lot less science in those days. It was basically more about how you play chess at the board, okay? Yes, you can analyze some lines, but because there was no engines, you could easily make a blunder in the analysis. Even though the analysis took you like 2 weeks, you can still make a blunder, yeah? Like in the third or fourth move of the analysis. So in those days, because it was more about practical chess gameplay, that's why psychology was utilized more heavily, okay? Because you could directly influence the opponent, okay? Because, imagine you're world champion Garry Kasparov, and you're sort of in this position where you don't think like you can beat your opponent, but at the same time, why not use a little bit psychological trick and like make a body language move saying like, what is this move against me? And the guy, or say like, why are you playing this position? This position is completely lost to you. And they could be wrong. It could be a bluff, yeah, but it works because, they have this aura. But these days, you cannot scare anybody because the only really, like, remember guys in that comics in the X-Men, remember when they write on the future and they had the problems with the Sentinels and the guy asks, why don't you help us? And he says, because of the Sentinels. Why, you're not afraid of Wolverine? Look at his claws. And he says, no, I'm not afraid. Yeah, because, the guys that everybody is afraid of is the god of chess, which is currently the engine, right? You don't care about Kasparov anymore. You don't care about Karpov. Look at how all these youngsters play. They don't care. They play Kramnik, they play Vasily Ivanchuk, they don't care. What they do care is they play first, second line moves. And that is the ultimate authority now. Okay? So that's why it's different. That's why people these days, they don't have to be so psychologically, dominant. And that's why the behavior that we see is less bullying. Okay. Do you think nowadays you should not have just one opening? Dude, if you have only one opening, you can survive maybe up to the maybe it's a big maybe if you survive to the Grandmaster 2500 level. If you still play only one opening after that, I don't think you will go very far. You'll be constantly catching surprises and preparations, and besides, you will not be able to find antidotes because you'll be working the same line over and over and over, and eventually you will grow so fed up with it, you'll just quit chess. You need new, like, you know, like human psyche, it needs a breath of fresh stuff, right? In order to keep yourself productive. That's the one thing about the human psyche. Yeah, you can't put yourself in the same situation over and over again. It just doesn't work, because then you're gonna feel more depressed than ever. Yeah, I don't know why it is, but it's just the way it is in chess for me. The way it was. Yeah, and then when you switch, you notice, like when you switch, you immediately notice, like, you know, you see your mind starts to become fresh. Yeah. And you get your tiger nickname because I was born in the year of the tiger, and I love cats. And because, you know, Cats in the Hat is a very famous cartoon, so I figured, why not Tiger in the Hat? You're just trying to be as funny. Sorry. Have you seen your Mark's channel? I'm not sure who is Mark's channel. Thank you, Mr. Short Ads. It was a good game. Beast is the best character. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised about how they played Mystique in the movies, right? Because that's not how Mystique was played in the cartoons of the 90s, which I grew up on. The Mystique in the 90s in the X-Men was completely different portrayed, yeah? I mean, obviously they couldn't pass the opportunity to have this naked girl walking around, you know, displaying all her beautiful body in action, right? I mean, guaranteed, especially if you put some famous actress on top of that. Yeah, guaranteed sold tickets to the cinema. But I don't know. She was like always. She seems to be like an antagonist of X-Men all the time, right? In the cartoons, at least. I don't know. Mark Esserman, of course. Yes. All right. You excited about the chess? Yes. Yeah. So it was interesting. Yes, it was interesting. All right. Anyway, guys. Wait. The game is done. Okay, game is done. All right, Mr. Shodas, thank you for the game, guys. Thank you for joining the Simul today. Guys from the Hikaru channel, thank you for the raid. Probably we should go raid somebody else, right? Is there an update? Is there an update? Nope. Okay. All right, so let's go raid somebody. I haven't raided anybody in a very long time. So let's see who we can raid. Yeah, there's a lot of ladies in chess suddenly. I've never seen so many chess streamers among the girls. Incredible. Okay, this guy. I have actually 579 viewers. Wow. All right, let's see. I guess we're gonna raid Nemo, right? It's been a while. All right, you guys okay? We raid with Nemo, right? I mean, the girl is working hard.
It's 144. What is wrong with people?
Is it okay, Choice? All right.
Yeah, they're on a boat.
Off we go. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for the title Tuesday.
What is wrong with people? Only in Canada. I don't think the moose appreciates that either. Yeah, dude. Good thing they find them. Ultimate form of harassment. This is correct. Oh my gosh. Hi, Gata. Thank you so much for the huge raid. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Sorry, ignore the video we were just watching. We were playing Bullet today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys had an awesome stream. Currently just playing some Bullet. I'm failing